Breaking news. The means by which Vladimir Putin has made Ukraine an international powerhouse. Writing a history of a war that is still ongoing is a daunting task. We're all curious about what happens next, but no one can predict it. The next best thing is to consult a trustworthy source on the current situation. Harvard University professor of Ukrainian history Serhiy Plokhy aims to provide this. Plokhy was born in Soviet Russia, but he is of Ukrainian descent and upbringing. That doesn't mean his loyalty is wavering. Rather, it makes him comfortable interacting with opponents on both sides. Plokhy is on the Ukrainian side, and he has a personal grudge against Putin because of how the Russian leader views Ukrainian history. In addition to the intellectual investment, Plokhy has a personal one: the loss of a cousin who was killed in action with the Ukrainian army near Bakhmut. The action of the story begins with Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014. For 300 years, that area, including the strategic Black Sea naval base of Sebastopol, had been a part of the Russian Republic in the Soviet Union. In 1954, Nikita Khrushchev made a grand gesture to celebrate the union of Ukraine and Russia by giving it to the Ukrainian Republic. Crimea's majority Russian population made the return of the peninsula an ongoing topic of debate in the Russian parliament following the fall of the Soviet Union. The annexation was met with minimal opposition from locals and international disapproval was muted. Putin succeeded where others failed. Donetsk and Luhansk, two eastern Ukrainian provinces with sizable Russian populations, were both fostering and receiving covert support from Russia for anti-Ukrainian movements. The legitimacy of the two People's Republics is not recognized, but the region is no longer under Ukrainian government control, and a state of undeclared war has developed between Ukrainian and Russian separatist forces. Several explanations for Putin's invasion of Ukraine on February 27, 2022, are presented by Plokhy. Putin's conviction, shared by many Russians, that the breakup of the Soviet Union in 1991 was a tragedy strengthens traditional Russian imperialism. Putin recognized Ukraine and Belarus as sovereign nations following the fall of the Soviet Union, but he still considered the peoples of Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus to be one and the same. As long as it acknowledged the blood ties to Russia and avoided whoring after the West, a Kyiv government operating independently was acceptable. As an additional point, Plokhy stresses Putin's view that the only reason New Russia, the provinces acquired by Catherine the Great from the Turks in the 18th century, is considered Ukrainian is because the Bolsheviks, when establishing a Ukrainian republic within the Soviet Union in the early 1920s, decided to place it there. Putin believed that if he sent Russian troops marching on Kyiv, the Ukrainian government of Volodymyr Zelensky would collapse, Zelensky would flee, and the Ukrainian people would welcome the Russian troops with bread and salt. The Bolsheviks made the same error they did in 1920–21 with Poland, but this time the shocking incompetence of the Russian military compounded the mistake.